Take 3. Hi, my name is Jim Dittmar, and it's an honor and a privilege for me to be able to share with you a few insights regarding servant leadership and a topic that I've been thinking about recently, and that is the person of the servant leader. Who is that person? And what is the makeup of that individual that helps enable him or her to become a servant leader? I was asked by Ken Blanchard to write a chapter in the section on exemplars of servant leadership. And immediately I thought of my wonderful friend, Francis Hesselbein. Francis, as you may know, was the CEO and president, executive director of the Girl Scouts USA from the mid-70s until 1990, later became the founder of the Peter Drucker Institute, and it is now called the Francis Hesselbein Leadership Forum in conjunction with the University of Pittsburgh. And Francis was also concerned about this issue of the person. A very famous quote that is oft-quoted by many that Francis made some years ago is this: leadership is a matter of how to be, not how to do it. And right away you hear that notion that it's more about the individual, it's more about the person. And she goes on to say, in the end, it's the quality and character of the leader that determines the performance. And again, I want to emphasize that when we talk about servant leadership, we need to focus on the idea that it does include the notion of performance and accountability. It is not that sort of maligned view that we often hear, that it is soft leadership, that it's a doormat where people walk over and run roughshod in terms of an organization. So we're concerned about the character of the person. What about the character? What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about virtues, certain virtues that are again, important to the development of a servant leader. Things like having the ability to understand inclusion, have respect, civility, decency, honor, honesty, faithfulness, persistence, and resilience. These are all important virtues that, again, help enable that person who wants to be the servant leader, who's striving to be the servant leader, become that servant leader. The leader for today will be, and the future, will be focused on how to be, how to develop quality character, quality mindset, values, principles, and courage. And part of this can be developed by understanding the notion of emotional intelligence, for instance. Emotional intelligence is that idea of knowing yourself, being able to manage yourself, knowing others, and being able to manage the relationship with others, and having this notion of empathy, having empathy for others. This is the kind of capacity that enables people to become the servant leader, having these kinds of abilities. The motive being altruistic. You've got to put ego aside. It must be based on this idea of altruism and stewardship, the belief that the organization is really on loan to the servant leader. And the servant leader leaves that organization and leaves the organization in better condition than when he or she first entered that organization. That's a stewardship perspective. And again, that notion of empathy. So think about the character, the quality of the character of the individual in terms of becoming a servant leader. And think about it yourself. And this final quote from Francis, again, leadership is much less about what you do and much more about who you are. If you view leadership as a bag of manipulative tricks or charismatic behaviors to advance your own personal interest, then people have every right to be cynical. Don't make people be cynical of your leadership. Be a genuine servant leader. Thank you very much. Again, an honor for me to be able to share these ideas with you. Take care.